Hey, hey, hey. Hello, hello, hello. It is Talk Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, April the 15th, 7:30 on the dot. It is Talk Tuesday, guys. Hello, hello, hello. I would say, let me start off by saying good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this world, because we have viewers from all over. So, hello, everybody. I hope you had a good day. Thank you so much for joining Talk Tuesday. It's Talk Tuesday. Listen, I was just talking to my guest. I always talk to my guest before I come on, and we both was like, "Oh, we're nervous," and but listen, we're looking to have fun. I'm so excited about my guest tonight. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yes, 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 yes. Hey, I hope y'all are having a good day, a good evening rather. And you're excited about Talk Tuesday. I know my regulars are coming on. Hello, Early, which is one of my regulars. It's my twin sister, y'all, who always supports me. And we have some new viewers from our guest that's going to be on tonight. So, hello. Also, want to say, I always forget this every week, but now that we're on YouTube, hello, YouTube, hello. Thank you for joining Talk Tuesday. Everybody know what Talk Tuesday is about. If you don't, Talk Tuesday is conversations of inspiration, motivation, or empowerment. And so, listen, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are an author, if you have a new business, listen, if you have a testimony or a journey that you want to share, please listen, send me a DM. You're welcome on Talk Tuesday. All are welcome on Talk Tuesday. So, listen, we've had a little bit of everybody on Talk Tuesday. And so I'm excited about my guest tonight. Oh my gosh. And listen, I know I said this a few weeks ago about one of my other guests that, listen, I'm not going to embarrass him, but I am. Um, but no, my guest, well, first came in contact with my guest while he was in his mama's womb. And so I've, known of him since he was a baby. And so so excited to have him on tonight. His sister Rashana was on here a few weeks ago with her college friends. And so I thought it would be fitting to have him on tonight for many, many reasons. But listen, we're in the season of weddings and parties, whether it's the 16th birthday party, whether it's the 50th birthday party, whether you need a planner for your wedding, wherever it may be. Listen, our guest tonight, he has all the information, right? Tonight we have coming on tonight Ryan Robinson. He is the CEO of. Listen, I'm telling. I'm gonna let him come on because I'm just telling all the beans, and I want him to come on. And so, listen. Without further ado, let's bring our guest on.
Hello, hello, everybody. Hello,
Hey!
hello.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Listen, I was just trying to spill the beans, and I'm like, wait, my guest is going to introduce himself. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, family. What's up? What's up?
Hey, listen, y'all. That's what we call each other. We're honestly, really, we're not biologically family, but you can't tell us that.
The
Okay.
facts. Facts.
I just want to say his mom is a very, very close friend of mine, like family. I was her hairstylist for over 15 years and his grandma. And so, we have that connection. Hey, Wanda, because I know your mom on here.
Yeah,
Um, but listen, like he said, hey, fam, and we are like family. And so, listen,
most
guys, this
definitely.
is Ryan Robinson. And so, listen. Ryan, we have new viewers on, so please introduce yourself. Who are you?
Okay,
What do you
okay.
do?
Hey, viewers. Hey, viewers. Well, for those who don't know me, my name is Ryan A. Robinson. I am the CEO of Fly Guy Exclusive Events, full service event planning company. You name it, I do it. I have somebody for everything. Everything. I literally do it all.
Oh wow! Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from? What you do?
So straight out of Baltimore, Maryland, as always, you know. I'm a big Baltimore person. I love my city. I rep my city to the death of me. I really do. Um, like I said, full service event planning company, hair, makeup, catering, all of that.
Wow.
And I specialize also in weddings. We are upon wedding season. Shout
Mm.
out to Elite Secrets Bridal. I am there on the weekends. So for all my brides, you know, I do wedding gowns. It's literally nothing I do not do. I love what I do. I've been doing it for a very long time.
Wow.
I'm in the
So
game for a minute.
I thought it was fitting, really, especially now because we're in that season, right? The weather is
Mhm.
breaking.
Right.
And listen, we got all kinds of stuff going on. Like you say, you do everything. I mean, you do weddings, you plan parties, event planner, wedding planner, all
Baby
types of
showers,
things.
baby.
Baby shower.
I do repasts. I do anything, any and
Wow.
everything. And believe it or not, what I pride myself on is I have actually done it all. So whatever I tell you that I
Wow.
do, I have actually done it.
Yes,
I've done it.
yes, yes. Listen, and I've seen your work before, so I'm letting y'all guys know. Listen, and this is your chance. If any of you have something coming up, a big event, I'm not just gonna say a birthday party or wedding or whatever. I'm gonna say if you have any event coming
Anything,
up, right? This is your chance,
anything.
and we're gonna get into it later. But if you want to ask Ryan some questions, or if you have some comments or whatever it may be, please, we don't mind, ask away,
Feel
because
free.
y'all know how y'all get with birthday parties and all kinds of stuff. Ryan is your person. So I want to ask Ryan, and we are talking about event planning. This is your business, right? And we were talking before we came on. Ryan has a full time, a 9 to 5, okay?
I did.
But why did you choose to pursue this passion and talent and planning? Where did why did you decide to do this?
So you know what? It's a very funny story, and I always got to give credit to two of my favorite people in this world. Shout out to my aunt Monica and my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
Well, my grandmother is, for those who don't know, my grandmother is a very, very creative person, right?
Mm.
Shout out to Miss Kitty.
Hey, Miss
Everybody know I love
Katie.
Miss Kitty. But she used to, I always say hands of a god. She used to create these
Mm.
amazing floral arrangements. I mean, decorations and the things that she would just come up with. I'm like, where did you get that from?
Right,
And
right.
back then when they first started, it wasn't a whole lot of internet and those things. She just was so creative, right?
Mhm.
I used to always be around. She had like a flower shop and stuff in her house. So I used to always be around her, watching her create. And it just was, I would be mesmerized.
Mm.
And then I always, like I said, shout out to my Aunt Monty because when she had got married, right?
Mhm.
She created a lot of her own things. She's another one that's so, so creative. Shout out to
Yeah.
Pumpkin Creations, by the way. She's so creative and she made her own flowers and stuff. And just being around all of that creativity. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, I can do this, right?
Mhm.
And then seeing it all come to life.
Yeah, yeah.
Seeing the centerpieces being made and then seeing them on the table. And then, you creating all these things, and then you walk into the room and you see everything that your hands kind of touched or everything that you helped somebody with. And I was like, I remember walking in and looking up at the ceiling. I'm like, this is crazy. I can do this. And I just love the feeling that I
Yeah.
got from it. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I got to do this. I want to keep going.
Yeah. And you know what? I do remember your grandmother, with the flowers and the
Yeah.
vases and the vases and just making and being so creative. I've been through her
When my
house.
mother
So
got married, she made all of my mother's bridal bouquets and her bouquet and
wow.
all. I mean, she did it all. I'm like, this is crazy.
Let me ask, can you remember like the first because Ryan does it all. I mean, decor, centerpieces, like every can you remember like the first like the core that you did?
Okay, so I'm going to give you two.
Because when we start off, right, it'd be like,
I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you my first party and my first wedding. So my first party was a lot of fun. Like I said, it was one of
yeah.
my aunt's birthday parties. And
Mm-hmm.
that was easy because she kind of already knew what she was doing, of course. So I kind of just followed behind her a little bit and watched what she did. So whatever she did, I kind of did and followed.
Uh-huh.
So the day of her party came and it was absolutely amazing. I'm like, okay, I did this. This was amazing.
Uh-huh.
So that was really easy because I kind of was like an apprentice, as you say, right? My first wedding.
Tell us.
Boy, oh boy, my first wedding. When I tell you I was so prepared but unprepared at the same time. I thank God for my amazing friends, my amazing
Yes.
team, because yeah, that was a lot. They had and I don't want nobody to take this personal when I say this. They had the smallest budget. And it wasn't
Okay.
necessarily the budget. It was just that, by me just starting off and by them, they not been married and by me just getting to
Yeah.
it, you don't really realize how many things that you need and how many things that you miss, right?
Okay.
The day of that wedding, I was flying around town all over the place. I had got 2 flat tires. And I remember just sitting in the car and I was crying. I was crying like this is about to be a disaster. They had no aisle because they got my first wedding. The style of the wedding was, how some people have a wedding ceremony in one ballroom or at a church,
Yeah.
and then they go to
Uh-huh.
the reception. Well, they kind of all did it all in one, like reception style.
Okay.
So it was no real aisle created. My thing was, let me just get the centerpieces right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I look and I said, oh my gosh. Where they gonna walk down the aisle at? Where they gonna
Right.
stand at? The crazy thing is, we had a wedding rehearsal, but during wedding rehearsal, it was no table set up. So the day of the wedding, all the tables were where my people were supposed to stand. Shout out to my 2 best friends. They said, "Listen," because I was panicking. They saw it. They said, "Tell us what you need, and then walk away from us." So I said, "We need X, Y, and Z. We got to get this. We got to get that."
Yes.
But it was a low key. It was a disaster. But the blessing about it was, and what I absolutely loved is my bride and my groom did not know not one thing.
Nothing. Right.
And that is what I pride myself on. I work so hard. And that's why I say, everyone always say, do I really need an event planner? Do I need a wedding planner? I always say yes. Not because, I do it, but because my goal is to always enjoy the moment. I remember when I did my own birthday party.
You went into my question, Ryan.
Oh, well, let me stop talking.
No. I want you to, because I was gonna ask you, what do you like most about event planning? Like, what do you love about it? And you was tell me now, because you was.
Yeah. So what I love about it is I love the fact of standing back and seeing my work.
Yeah.
I love the fact of seeing the joy on my customer's face, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a birthday party, because like I said, I go into myself. When I did my 21st birthday party, okay, by the time I got to my party, I was exhausted. I was tired, and then something clicked in my mind. Something said, if I feel like this, I know other people feel like this when they do their event. So my goal is for you to also enjoy the whole process, because I'm big on creating memories. I'm really big on,
yes.
That's a big thing for me, creating memories, because what people don't understand is your event is not just your memory. The planning process is your memory. And to have someone who do it for you, I always say, let me stress for you and you enjoy the moment.
I know that's right.
And that's my biggest quote these days, enjoying the moment, staying in the moment, living in the moment.
Yes. Now, look, everybody, we're talking to Ryan Robinson, okay? Fly Guy exclusive events. He's playing all kinds of events, okay? And look, when you just said like funerals, I'm like, oh, you funerals too?
Oh, I do it all, and I can get into that if you need more details. I do it.
Yes. I do want to ask now. Of course, I know we have lots of comments saying hello, everybody. Thank you for the comments.
Hey, y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Now, what are your top priorities or your first steps in planning an event? Of course, I know it starts with the client, but what are your top? I would say top 5. What do you budget? What do you start?
The funny thing is, my number one thing is how many guests.
Okay. Tell us why. Tell me why.
That's my number one.
I know that's important, but school me.
So let me tell you why my first question is always how many guests. And some people would think, really, that's the first question? My first question is how many guests, because how many guests will set the tone for your event. That will know how big of an event you need. How big of an event you're going to have. That'll let me know how big of a venue you need. That'll let me know how big of catering that you need. That'll let me know, okay, because like I said, I have a team of people. So that'll let me know I can call this person, I can call that person, or I might need all of these people. So I start off with how many guests. Then I go to what is your budget?
Yes.
And then I go to, what is your true budget?
I'm
Because,
sorry. I
and
gotta
I'm going to
laugh
give you an
about that.
example. I'm going to give you an example. I did a wedding. She was like, my budget is like $25K. I said, okay. So I'll say this. My goal is always, when you give me a budget, my goal is always to stay at that budget or stay under that budget.
Okay.
I believe in giving you the Beyonce and Jay-Z experience, but not breaking the bank. They have it. And let's be for real. Everyday people don't necessarily have Beyonce and Jay-Z funds. Some do, some do not.
Yes.
But that don't mean you don't deserve the same type of event and the same type of catering to.
Yes.
So, yeah. What is your budget? What is your true budget? Because I had someone say it was $25K, and then we were working. I said, "Are you sure?" And they was like, "Yeah." And then we started working and adding things and picking things. And they was like, "Well, Ryan, this is becoming a lot, or it's becoming too much." I say, "Well, you only scratched 10. So you sure that's you want to go?"
Yes.
And then I like to ask the question, "What do you need from me?" Because some people come already having their venue locked in.
Okay.
Some people come, like I'll use a bride as an example. She may have a florist, she may have a caterer, but she don't have anything else. I always say, "What do you need from me?" And that is how I go off of my pricing that I charge.
Okay.
I don't just have a set price for all things. Now, of certain things, I do have a set price that I charge per hour, but I go off of what you need.
Okay.
And then we create a package.
You know how oftentimes, we talk about that price thing because people want a champagne wedding, but they only got beer money. And
facts.
And so, but can you work with beer money? Can you work? You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. And I'm looking at all these beautiful comments from all my amazing people.
Yes.
I can work with anything.
Okay.
and I pride myself on saying that because I can work with anything. Now we have to be realistic now. You can't come at me with beer money. Ryan, I have $500, but you have 175 guests, okay?
Right.
You gotta be realistic. However, I can pretty much work with anything. I'm looking at my comments. I see a few brides in my comments of weddings that I did.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all so much.
Well, that's just a attest to, the type of person you are, especially as a business person. You know what I mean? And my niece is on here, Lanika, and I know she has attended one of your biggest events of the year. That I'm always out of town.
Always out of town.
Brian, as soon as you give the date, I'm on my calendar. I was like, I can't even come. And so, and I think earlier this year, I don't know, I asked you about it, and I'm not sure if you're going to have it this year. But listen, my niece talks about it all the time. After it's over, she talking about it. But again, that just attests to the type of person you are as a business person. Now I got a big question.
Ask away.
Now we have all types of personalities, characters, all types of people that book with you. How do you stay motivated during like the planning? Because we as clients, we know how we can be sometimes, but in a business that you are, like, you have to deal with that's you can't avoid it. But how do you stay motivated, and how do you keep yourself motivated, including them motivated? Because sometimes you got to put out fires, right?
All the time.
How do you handle that?
My biggest thing is always, my number one rule I tell myself when it comes to events, even during the planning process and day of the event: don't take it personal.
Okay.
That's my number one rule. Don't take it personal. And the reason why I say don't take it personal is because, and I like to go back to my brides, because brides go through so many challenges through the planning process as well as day of. That's one of the biggest days of your life.
Okay.
Or even a birthday party. It's a big event that you're having, and all eyes on you.
Yeah.
So with attitudes and those things, you can't take it personal. You understand a lot of it. Most of it is nerves.
Yeah.
Most of it is nerves. And the second thing is remembering why I do what I do.
Okay.
I always tell myself, no matter how bad these feet hurt at the end of the night, no matter how tired I am, it's not a job for me, because I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love bringing joy to these people, to these beautiful clients. I love just helping in any kind of way. When you are in this business, people say, event planner, you wear so many hats. I have been a therapist. I am a stylist. I am all of the above.
Yeah.
So just remembering why I do what I do, and to not take it personal.
Right. That's, you know what? That's good. That's good right there. Because you got to remember, especially with weddings and those big, big celebrations, 60, 70 birthday parties and things like that, they want their wedding to be right. They want things to be right. And so, like, they hired you for a reason. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so, when you say don't take it personal, because it's not.
It's not.
It's not personal, but you had to know that before you even got into this business. And I know you learned things along
Absolutely.
the way, right?
Absolutely. I'll even tell you this, even with family, right? I have done
Yeah.
events for some family. When I say events, like they actually really hired me, right?
Uh-huh.
And my first initial contact with them, I say this. I say, let's use a cousin. I say from this moment on, because they get a
Mm-hmm.
contract too.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
From
yes.
this moment on, we are not family.
Wow.
This is business.
I
I'm not
hear
your
you.
cousin. And the reason why I tell people that is because I don't want you to think I'm going to handle you just like, oh, that's my cousin. I can do it. No,
Yeah,
this is my business.
yeah,
And my
yes.
business is going to reflect at your event because I'm going to get more business from that event.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, after everything is over, then I'll say, so what you think, cuz?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to ask, have you ever had a situation, I know you probably have, where day of, right? We have some mishaps and some things happen that's kind of like really out of your control, right? I want to know how you listen. I'm trying to sell Ryan because y'all need to book him. I just want to know. I just want to know how do you handle that?
So I'm gonna give you this one. So funny. You heard the Mary song Shackles, right?
Yeah.
And that part of the song would say everything that could go wrong all went wrong at one time.
Yes.
I decided, because I love what I do and I love clients, I love people. I decided to take a wedding the day before my birthday.
Now, what would
I
urge you to
did.
do that?
I did. I did. And everything that could go wrong went
Wow.
wrong. I carry a kit.
Uh-huh.
In my kit, I have needle and thread. Yes. That's add it to my list. Also, I have to be a seamstress at times. I have needle and thread. I keep Advil and ibuprofen and Aleve and those things. Everybody who I needed to help me for this wedding, all were busy, right?
Wow.
The wedding was supposed to be outside. Got it. Rehearsal went great. Outside. Got it.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Outside weddings, you always have a backup plan, right? It
Yeah.
just so happened that this wedding, they had 200 guests.
Mm.
It poured down raining right before my wedding was about to begin.
Come on, tell me what you tell me. I need to know this outcome.
Oh, and I will tell you this. That was my first wedding where I encountered a groomzilla. Not a bridezilla.
Not a
She was a
bride.
bridezilla too. She was a bride. I had a bridezilla, but I had a real groomzilla.
Wow.
And this couple just thought that, I was God.
And you can stop the rain.
That I could stop any and everything.
Oh my gosh.
So I had to jump into action very, very quickly. Family
Yeah.
members was helping me. I had some friends helping me that could help me. I had wedding
Mhm.
guests who, thank God, I had met through the planning process, jumped in, was like,
Mhm.
okay, it's a lot of
Mhm.
us. What do you need? And it all worked out. It all worked out. Everything was perfect. Everything was how it was supposed to be. At the end of the night, guess what? The bride and groom dragged me for pure filth. They were so disgusted. They blamed me for every single thing. I got blamed for the rain. I got blamed for everything. But I'm gonna tell you what the silver lining was, and this is why I make sure that in those moments I
Yeah.
stay cool-headed. And what I say, don't take it personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bride's mother and father, the
Mm.
groom's parents, the maid of honors, and cousins all came to me and told me
Mhm.
how much of a superb job that I did. And they were so
Wow.
pleased. They said,
Wow.
I don't see how you made it happen in that
Yeah.
short amount of time, but you
Yeah.
made it fully happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
flowers were late, flowers didn't show up. I had to get creative with all those things. Thank God I'm a creative person. I
Yes.
had to literally create a bridal bouquet in less
Wow.
than an hour.
Wow. Get out. Look,
Yeah,
and I
I
look, I
did
had
it.
to
But
I had to sneak a picture because I was like, oh,
Oh yeah.
I had to get one of the pictures. You know why? Because like the decor and look, y'all, this is just a little something,
Just
something.
a small snippet. A small snippet.
Wow. Now let me ask, because we were talking before I came on, and I was telling you a friend of mine, they had their church's 10th anniversary coming up. They were looking for a caterer.
Okay.
Now, like with your planning, of course, so you got connects, like all of the floors, the caterer, like
All around town.
yes. Wow. Now, what is it like, being connected with the people that you might need for an event like the caterer? How did you connect with them? Was it just like word of mouth?
So some of it was word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it was just doing research.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to places, going to different places, like going to different party companies where you have
Yes.
to do like chair rentals and those things, and just really letting them know what I do, leaving business cards, and really just
Mm-hmm.
saying who offers the best price. I work with one event company. Shout out to Miss Wendy. I work with her all the time. Miss Wendy has brought me a lot of people, because Miss Wendy said, "No,
Um,
wait a minute." Miss Wendy said, "I do decorations, but I'm not a planner. You need a planner."
okay.
So she always recommends people to me. And just a lot of my friends, a lot of us are very creative. Shout out to Creations by Keith Catering,
Yeah.
BM Balloons. I'm throwing a couple plugs in there.
Yes, come
BM Balloons
on.
89. I have a
Yes.
balloon. She's amazing with balloons. My best friend Brittany, I get her to do all of my balloon work.
Yeah, yeah,
All of my
yeah,
balloon work. So
yeah.
you just have to really just stay connected and stay vibing and stay networking with people,
Uh-huh.
and make sure that you build amazing relationships with these people, because I always say this: when you look out for your people, they look out for you.
Yeah. You know what? And one thing I want to say this right quick. I love you shouting out. And I always say that we don't have to put anybody lights out and for order for ours to shine, right?
Exactly.
And so just shouting out these different vendors, you know what I mean? Like we
Exactly.
need each other, right? It's
We
so
do. We
much,
do.
sometimes it's so much division and all that kind of stuff or whatever, but I really love like you just shouting out,
I
these different
do.
people. Now let me ask, now do you like have a team? Like do you have a team? Or is it
So my beautiful team.
Ryan, is it just you?
So I'll tell you this. It all depends on the event. Example, I'm a bridal stylist. I do styling for weddings, for bridals.
Okay.
So a bride may want day of styling.
Okay.
So my bridal day of styling just consists really of me just getting them dressed, just having that one moment in the room, every
Yes.
dotting every I, crossing every T, and then sending them down the aisle. If they change, I do all of those things.
Okay.
However, I do have an amazing team, and my amazing team is my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful friends.
Okay.
I call them, don't get me wrong, I have other vendors that I use, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
they already know they're going to be my first point of contact. I'm like, listen, here are the dates. This is what we got
Yes.
coming up. And when I say over the years,
Mhm.
have, it's hard to put in words. They
Yeah, yeah,
jump in and do whatever needs to be done.
yeah, yeah,
And when I say whatever needs to be done, they work with me so long. They be like I told you earlier, they say, "Okay, we got it. Boom, 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 we got it. Okay, this got to be done.
yeah,
Yeah, you." They literally be like, "Ryan, you go do something else.
yeah.
We got this. We know what we're doing with this area. We know what we're doing with that area." And I say, especially like I said with weddings and stuff like that, I have a person in the front, person in the back, person with the
Yeah,
bride.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they cover all of my bases.
Yes, yeah. I think some of your friends are on here now, cause
They are. They really are. Shout
but
out
you
to
know what?
Ashley. Shout out to Brittany, Brianna, everybody.
Yes, hello everybody. Hey, welcome to Talk Tuesday. We talked to your boy Ryan Robinson. He is CEO of Fly Guy Exclusive Events, and so that's what we're talking about tonight. Listen, we in that season, y'all. Birthday parties always going on, weddings and such, or everything going on. So Ryan is
Everything.
listen, guys. If you have any questions, please ask Ryan. I told him my regulars they ask questions. So regulars, any questions y'all have?
Ask away, y'all. Ask away.
um, but you know what? With your team, right? What it says like they know your vision, right? You
All the
talk to
time.
the client, you talk to the customer, you know what they want, you relay it to people that's helping you, your friends, your family, and to know like you've been doing this for a while, Ryan. So, and
Been a
listen,
handful now.
like you said, they know you,
They know me very well.
Ryan, go over there. We got this. But you know what, Ryan? That's also trusting them that they know what the vision is for this particular event or wedding. Let me ask now: do you have a preference of wedding planner or party planning? Because it's a difference, right?
It's a huge difference.
Okay.
It's a huge difference. Um, it's so funny. Someone asked me this question before. Do I have a favorite? And I'm always gonna go with my weddings. I absolutely love, 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 love my weddings.
Okay.
I love my weddings. Don't get me wrong. I love all of my events because it gives me it allows me to really get creative a lot of the times.
Okay.
And it allows me to network with a lot of different people.
Okay.
And it allows and it allows sometimes, like, even I'll go to jump into a repast or a funeral, for example. People be like, "You do funerals? You do repasts?"
Tell me what you do.
So here's the thing. Unfortunately, but fortunately, I have been in a position where I've had to do a lot of planning for services.
Yeah.
For immediate loved ones, friends, all the above. A lot of times when you're doing those things, because you are in a different kind of headspace, you don't really realize what exactly goes into planning it, especially if you have never did it before.
Yeah.
If you have never been put in this position before, you don't really know what all goes into it.
Yeah.
So I have actually studied and seen, okay, what goes into all of these things.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't understand that. Let's use an example. I love one guy in insurance, so we good. Insurance don't cover everything.
Right.
They don't think about florals. They don't think about a repass.
Right. Yes.
Some people, they say, I want a repass. Okay. Oh God, am I supposed to decorate it? You can. You don't have to, but you can.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of those things people don't really think about.
Yeah.
So I actually have been with families and sat with them and event planned because a service is still an event.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite service to do, but I do it.
Yeah.
But like I said, take it back to my weddings. I love my weddings. I love sitting with the bride and the groom. And also, I had a bride and groom meeting the other day, and I told them, my spill and why I love doing what I do. And they thanked me so much. And what they said was, we thank you so much for coming in because you keep peace in our house. So I said, what do you mean by that? They said, because, I want this and he want that. And we may clash, but we always say, he say, I'm going to ask Ryan. And she say, well, I'm going to ask Ryan. And they just both text me separately on the group. So we all work it out. And she thanked me. She was like, I thank you for keeping peace in my home.
Right. Because I guess, let me ask, what you do, the business that you do, just like this couple here, one on one phone and one on the other phone, and you got to find that medium, for them both. And I'm quite sure you've been in situations like that before, right? Is it oftentimes like you're the planner, I know, right? But you have to make that decision, right?
Yes. Yes. It's so funny. I just did this. I just made it.
Wow.
They were arguing over an engagement party. One wants an engagement party, and believe it or not, the groom wanted this big extravagant engagement party. My bride was like, is an engagement party really necessary? Let's do it this kind of way. He was like, his exact words was, that's cheap. I don't want to do it that kind of way. If I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. So I said, listen, this is what we're going to do. You're not having an engagement party. You're going to have an engagement dinner.
Wow.
At a restaurant in a private room.
Wow.
Both of them are like, oh my God, that's perfect. You still get to have your party aspect, but you save. I'm going to be really honest with you. I do any event in the world, but two events that I do not necessarily care to do, but I do them. Engagement parties and gender reveals. You know why I always did it? Because they are a waste of your money, people.
But I'm glad you said that.
It's a waste of your money. And the type of event planner that I am, I'm not just in this business to collect a check.
Yeah.
I'm very honest. It's a waste of your money. All that money you put into an engagement party, put into your wedding.
Okay.
All of that money you put into a gender reveal, put into your baby shower if you want a nice baby shower, especially if it's like your first child or your first marriage and you never had a wedding.
Yeah.
Invest that money into the things that you really, really want.
Yeah, it makes sense though. Because I always say, listen, you got to live after the wedding,
You
right?
gotta live after that wedding.
Ryan, you gotta live after the wedding. You don't want to go in debt, right? You know what I mean? And I've seen it before. Now I have a question for you. Now I know, listen, way back when, y'all, Wanda, way back when I was married. Um, so me and my best friend, actually our wedding, both of us got married around the same time, right? I think weeks apart or maybe a month apart, but we both, Wanda, we had a big wedding. I mean, I can't even, we had a lot of people, okay? Groomsmen, bride, all kinds of people. I want to know, like, what's in, what's out, what's new, especially I want to say for weddings, right? Is big parties still in? What color is in? What's going on in the wedding world?
So the wedding world these days is very fun. And the reason why I say it's very fun, it has become very different. Back in the day, everything was kind of, you did it this way, you did it that way. This person's supposed to come down first, that person's supposed to come down first.
Yeah.
It's none of that anymore.
Look, I want to say a big shout out to your mother, because she told me, thank you, Wanda. It was a month. Our
It was
wedding
a
was
month.
about to pop. But yeah, see, I told you. But yeah,
It's none of that anymore. Everything
okay.
these days is so creative and so
Okay.
modern. And my favorite saying that I tell every bride and groom when I do weddings, the first thing I always say is, listen, tune out the noise.
Okay.
Your day, your way.
Okay.
It's nothing you can't do. It's nothing you can't do. A lot of the colors in these days, believe it or not, it seems like everyone is doing, it's two sets of colors, right?
Yeah.
Everyone is either doing like the nudes, the browns, the champagne,
Yeah.
very, very, very popular right now, or emerald green and gold. I did 2 weddings last year, a week apart, with the same exact wedding colors.
Right. Wow.
So those are colors, and I think those colors are becoming more popping lately. And I'm looking at things recently, as I do my studies, I look into everything.
Yeah.
The vibrant colors are really in, like your oranges, your reds, your gold, your emeralds. Those colors are really, really in. So like I said, it's 2 sets of colors. You have your nudes and your tans and your light browns and your golds and your champagnes. Or it's either they go left or you go all the way right with the hard, the royal blues, the turquoise, the fuchsias. It's like one way or the other. It seems like that's what every single person is doing these days.
Have you ever had to advise, a groom or bride, like, as far as, like, because the colors. Now my colors were gold and white. Chef, I'm pulling pictures out. Lord have mercy. But anywho. But have you ever had to give, like, advice as far as, hey, what do you think of this color, or what color combination would you think? Ultimately, it's
Absolutely.
it's their idea. It's their,
Absolutely. And have I changed people colors? I have changed people colors. I have.
What?
I didn't do it on my own. Of course, I talked to them first, but sometimes what people don't realize is, let's use a large wedding party, for example, right?
Okay.
Accent colors are very important. Example, if your wedding is fuchsia and turquoise, okay, I've done it. That's a very hard and vibrant color.
Yeah.
So it's like with using a very hard and vibrant color, an accent color will come in and kind of tone it down for you a little bit.
Okay.
So if you throw like a gold, a soft gold, a champagne in there, it will kind of tone things down a little bit. So they was like, okay, well, I'm going to add that into the wedding. I think you should, because they had 13 bridesmaids in hot fuchsia and turquoise. That's a lot to see.
But then, Ryan, don't you also have to remember the people in your party, especially the women? We got different sizes, different shapes.
Different sizes, different shapes, all of those things. So that comes to also, I get to that point, I do that too. I am a full-blown stylist. I am. Because my goal is to always, you have to pick something that goes with every body type. There's so many different beautiful body types out here, different curves, and you have super small, and you have, a beautiful thick queens, all these things. And sometimes when you are a wedding, you want what you want. I want
Yeah.
this dress. Okay, but that dress don't go for everybody's body type.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
that material does not go for everybody's body.
Right. Right. Right.
Or
Right.
even something as simple as strapless. Strapless is not for everybody's body type.
Right. Yes.
So that's another thing I get to that point when you say what's in right now.
Yeah.
Different style dresses.
Okay.
That's a
So,
really big popular
so
thing.
people are wearing different style dresses within the party.
Within the party. So different style dresses, same color,
Okay.
but different style dresses. Or some people are doing half and half. They want half their bridesmaids to wear this style dress, and other have to wear this
Uh,
style dress. But definitely,
uh,
that different dresses. Like some are doing strapless, some are doing one shoulder, some are doing
right.
camp sleeve. It's a lot of different styles.
Ryan, your mama said, I've seen him change the bride dress.
I have. I have, and let me tell you why. So, like I said, I'm at a bridal salon on the weekend. Again, shout out to Elite Secrets Bridal.
Yeah.
And the reason why I've done that is because a bride, a lot of the times, comes in with her vision. Her
Yeah.
vision is, Ryan, I want mermaid, and I want mermaid bride, and this, that, and the other. And so I laugh. And they say, why are you laughing? And then it's so funny because even when I don't intentionally laugh, I laugh on purpose all the time, even when I don't find it funny. It's a method to my madness, I always say. Because a lot of the guys come in and they say, I want this, I want that. And I laugh, I say, I guarantee you probably won't leave with what you said. And the reason I did it is because I had a bride who, shout out to my mother. I had a bride who had her dress already and had her dress in mind. And when she showed me her dress, she was like, okay, I already have a dress. She came in to get a reception dress. Said, I already have a dress. I said, okay. I said, you mind if I see it? She was like, yeah, I think it's really nice. I was like, okay. I said, show me a picture.
Mm-hmm.
She showed me her dress. And she was like, what you think?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's a nice dress. It's just not the dress for you.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, what do you mean? Why would you say that? I said, it's not a good dress for your body style.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, people don't understand, and this where and my ladies on here, and you as the woman, you understand everything not for everybody.
Right. Yes.
Some things can make you look bigger.
Yes.
Some things can make you look small, too small.
Right.
Some things are just not always the best. So when I tried different styles on her, she was like, so I'm deciding to get rid of my wedding dress. I want to go with the dress that you picked. Okay, I think that's a good idea.
But you know what? Listen, I would love a planner like that. You know what I mean?
My goal is every step of the way. Every step of the way.
Come on, say that again.
Every step of the way.
I know. Listen, y'all, this is Talk Tuesday. And we're talking to Ryan Robinson. He is the CEO of Fly Guys Exclusive Events, and so we're talking about different. He does everything. Listen, I didn't know he does do funerals, but hey,
Everything.
right? Everything.
You name it, I've done it.
And so we have new viewers, your friends and family are on here on Talk Tuesday. We really do
y'all
appreciate
for showing me so much love. Thank
yes.
y'all so much.
Hello, YouTube. Hello. And listen, and me and Ryan was talking before I came on, and I was just, how's everything going? And he was like, listen, I'm getting bookings, right? And so
Into the thick of it.
what are you getting? What type of bookings? And everybody, listen, if you want to book Ryan for any type of event, okay, I do have his email posted on it. Or if you have any questions about events, listen, here's the email. Tell me, right, what events are you getting booked now?
So right now we are in the spring season. It is prom season.
Yes, that's right.
Prom season. I have gotten so many requests for backdrops for proms.
Yes.
I got a request today for styling for proms. We're also going into the thick of, as we always love, a June bride. So we're going into wedding season. I've booked so far for 2025. I have 4 weddings so far.
Come on.
4 weddings. And
yes.
Of course, and I try to not take more than 2 a month because I like to give my brides, that good undivided. And if I have 7 weddings at one time, but prom season, we're in the thick of prom season. We're in the thick of wedding season.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, it's so funny. Today, I got an inquiry for a holiday party.
Really?
So now we're going all the way into December.
Well, listen, we're gonna spread our wings,
Let's
okay?
say
And I say, why not? And tell me how's proms going? Like you've done proms before. How you like them?
prom can be very interesting. Only reason why I say prom can be interesting as far as the styling tip of prom. Styling tip
Okay.
because let's like we're dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-old girls.
Yes.
So that exact split that they want to the mid of their thigh.
Yes.
When mom comes in and mom be like that, it gotta go under their knee.
Yes.
So I gotta kind of find something where we can come up and meet in the middle.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and like I said, backdrop inquiries. Speaking of, I'll be posting something this week. I'm going to do a
Okay.
backdrop sale.
Oh
People
wow.
have been asking, "Are you doing your sale this year? Are you doing your sale this year?" So yes, I'm going to do a backdrop sale for all those beautiful people who are leaving for their proms. And
Yes.
shout out to, like I said, BM Balloons 89, my best friend
Yes.
Brittany who does balloons. I'm going to bring
Yes.
her in as well. So we're
Mm-hmm.
going to have some packages coming out by the end of the week, y'all. So I am doing proms, guys. Not only styling, but I am doing the
Yes.
backdrops and the red carpets. It's been
Yes.
requested, so your boy gonna go ahead and do it for y'all.
Listen, if you have a flyer, please send it to me. So
I
we can
definitely will.
advertise it on our Talk Tuesday every week.
I'm looking at
Um,
my comments. It's funny. One of my friends said, and also will secure party buses. Yes, I will secure all your transportation for you as well. I do it all.
That's awesome. And you know what? I just love, I mean, of course, I've known you since you was a baby, watch you grow up. Used to come in the salon with his mom, trying to run all over the place and wander. My father was looking at him like he was crooked.
That's probably the last time I
But
ran.
but just to see you grow up and I was asking, I was like, Ryan, you work full time? He's like, yes, I do. And I'm like, but also too, what about you, Ryan? You work full time on the weekends. You have events, you're planning, you're working with brides. You still also need that balance though, right? Because don't wear yourself out, of course, even though it's your passion, it's your talent, but there still has to be
Right.
a balance. Where do you find the balance?
You know what's so funny? I just found the balance. I'm gonna say within like the last 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So what I
Yeah.
started doing, I have been through a lot of stuff in these
Yeah.
last, I'm gonna say maybe like year or so, right? With
Yeah.
events and personally and all things. So what I started doing recently was journaling and meditating.
Come on. Wait a minute.
When I tell you,
I found about three of my journal books. I was cleaning out a room
when I
and
tell you
found
that has been the
three of my
best,
journal books.
it has been the best, the best, the best, the best. And I like to throw this in anything I do, any interview I
Yeah.
do, any conversation
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Mental health is so real.
Oh, absolutely.
Mental health is so real. And I throw that in there because even with doing what I do, even though I
Yeah.
love what I do, becoming
Yes.
overwhelming can affect
Yeah.
your mental health,
Yeah, I'm sure.
right?
Yes.
So I pride myself now on journaling every night before I go to bed. I say a
Wow.
prayer. I do a little meditation now, and I journal. Even on the weekends, I was out with my best friend this weekend. And I said, "All right, I'm gonna go because I still got to go home and journal." It was Saturday night. It has brought me so much peace.
Yeah.
It's brought me
Yeah.
so much comfort.
And
So I
you
just try to make sure I find that balance with doing it, like remembering that yes, I do this because I love it. Yes, I love all of my clients,
yeah,
old
yeah,
and new. I love helping. I
yeah,
love that. But sometimes taking a breather. Even I
yeah,
found myself doing this too during events, during weddings,
yeah.
after I send my brides on the aisle, after the party has already started. I walk away from my team and I take a minute to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I take a deep breath and I exhale. I say,
Mm-hmm.
"You did it. It's going on, and then it's going to be done."
Yeah.
I do it with every single event I have because I have to take a
Wow.
minute for myself and just say, you know what? Because even though you do what you love, it can become
Right.
overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just say,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you have no
Mm-hmm.
problems. And any
And you,
problems with you occur, you good.
yeah, you know what? And I could tell because I can I'm not gonna say I stalk you, but I watch you. But I can no, you know
I'm here
why?
for it. I'm here
You know
for it.
why? Because I look at your post, right? And you do post inspirational things. You know what I mean? And like you, I meditate, pray. I listen to music. Not always. I love gospel music. I'm a church girl.
Right.
But I also like to listen to other music too, just to kind of bring me down. Because want to know, I'm busy. I travel, and I
Definitely.
love it and I enjoy it. But
Definitely.
there's also a downtime,
Yeah.
right? And we got to find that downtime because listen, we need to pick me up. We need to find some energy because we got to get back out there. We got clients, we got customers. I got to get on the plane
Listen,
somewhere. Okay. And
listen. I tell everybody that, and I'm gonna tell you something. You have to remember, and I'm telling you this too, and I know you know
yeah,
this. I tell any business owner, anybody that's works a 9 to 5, you have to
yeah,
remember that you are still a person. And
yeah.
I had to remember that I am still a person because I'm gonna tell you something. The hardest thing sometimes in the world
And
is to
what?
be going through a storm,
Mm-hmm.
a tremendous storm where your heart hurt, your
Yeah,
mind hurt, you're
yeah,
tired, and then gotta open those doors and put a big old smile on and say, okay.
yes,
Especially during imagine going through a rough season, but you have someone getting married on Saturday.
yeah,
You have to smile and be on.
yes, yes,
Yeah, but you
yes,
have to remember that you're still a person. So what I do is, like I said,
yeah,
journaling and meditating recently. And guess what? If I need to journal more than one time a day,
yes,
I'm gonna
do
go ahead
it.
and I'm gonna do that.
Absolutely.
If I need to step away and say a quick prayer or just get into myself
Yeah,
recently, I'm gonna go ahead
yeah,
and I'm gonna do that too.
yeah. And I don't have it anymore. I used to have like a little small notebook that I would keep in the car, right? Just if I'm in a car and I'm leaving work, if I need to jot something down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I'll do that. Thank you so much, viewers, for your comments. Balance is important, mental health is important. One of my friends said that you are a one stop and shop, one
Oh, that's
stop and
me.
shop. Look, somebody said the best to ever do it. Listen, we need these comments because
I appreciate y'all.
I had my viewers and my regulars on here, and for them to just I don't want to say give you a review because it's really not a review. In a way it is, but it's also to tell others the type of person you are in a business, how you run your business. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I have this question. I got a couple questions, y'all. I'm sorry.
Ask away.
Um, have you ever had to tell a client or refuse a client, no, I can't do it? Because Ryan, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Sometimes it's hard for us to say no. Okay. But being in
So
the
I
business that
had
you're in, have you ever said, no, I can't do it? Maybe because of their vision or their concept, or have you ever
it wasn't the vision or the concept because I can get it done.
okay.
It wasn't that, but it was believe it or not, it was just boundaries.
Ah,
I had a
oh,
wedding.
oh,
um, I had a wedding, and my services were to provide the event planning experience. I did that. I
okay.
did the wedding. I set the wedding up. I broke the wedding down.
Yes.
At the end of the night, my job is over.
Mm-hmm.
It was brought to me by the groom.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to book, me 2 hotel suites tonight, and then book me a airport transfer in the morning. Book me an airport transfer it was in 2 days for their honeymoon. And I said, okay. I said, well, my services have been rendered.
Okay.
That was not a part of our contract and our initial conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
said, for future, if you do choose to book with Fly Guy exclusive events again, all of
Yes.
those things need to be talked about in the beginning. That way, it can already be worked out. It was at the end of the night. I had my bags in my hand. I was walking to my car. My
Wow.
job was done. And could I
Yeah.
have done it? I
Mhm.
could have, but I
Mhm.
said, I have to establish boundaries somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I did. I provided the job and the service that you hired me to do.
Yes.
And a lot of the times they think because you're the planner, like I said, you do work for them, but you don't
Yeah.
really work for them.
Right,
If that
right,
makes
right,
sense. Your job
right.
is to make sure that their day and their event goes off without a hitch. But you
Yes.
also have to remember too, you're not a personal assistant.
Right,
You
right.
are when it comes to Ryan, my gown has a hole in it, or Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
the florist is like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to the extra, I call them
Mm-hmm.
extracurriculars,
Yeah.
I don't do that.
But I think you have to set those boundaries in the beginning too.
You
Like
do.
you said, That wasn't in my contract, which is true. That wasn't in my contract. You know what I mean? But I
Right.
think it's also a way that you communicate, because that's important. Absolutely. Communication with your client. So well, I wanted to ask that, have you ever had to kind of like, you know,
Yeah, and I felt, and don't get me wrong, I felt bad because again, I love what I do, but it's almost like, that saying that if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to kind of draw the line.
Yeah. One of our viewers asks, "Are you a travel agent too, Ryan?"
So I'm not a travel agent. However, do I do destination weddings? I absolutely do destination weddings. They are my favorites to do. You know why? Because you get to go.
Yes.
Even though you're working, but you get to go. However, do
Yes.
I have travel agents too that I love and use? I absolutely
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. Of course, what you do in your business, like you have to have those connects, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And I have a few people on here just, shouting out, putting their business in the comments. Thank you
Yeah.
so
So in
much.
fact,
Yes.
these are some of my amazing people that I
Wow.
use.
That's
My
what's
balloon person.
up.
I was just telling you about Brittany, BM Balloons 89.
Brittany, come
Um,
on Talk Tuesday, Brittany. What you doing, girl? Come on so we can tell everybody.
my guy Keith, Creations by Keith, a bomb
Yes.
caterer.
Yes.
And Brittany does, and what I love, Brittany's a one-stop shop. Brittany does hair. Brittany does balloons. So I plug her all the time. I got a client here right now talking about Purple Rain coming soon. She's having a Prince themed birthday party in July. I'm doing her birthday party.
Yes. Ryan, come on, the big question. Starlight Ball, what's up? Come on. Are we Ryan? No, because I'm not gonna be out. I don't know if I'm gonna be out of town, but come on, what's up with Starlight Ball this
Only
year?
if y'all knew how many times people asked me about the Starlight Ball. So let me just tell y'all this. I wanted to tell you the basis of the Starlight Ball. So the Starlight Ball basically came from after I did my business. My business I kind of got it to where I wanted to get it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I want to do a big event. I want to do a ball. I
Yeah.
want to do a situation where I could celebrate the business and also bring me more business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a very close friend that I had at the time, I was working with him, and he was like, I was helping with ideas. And I called my mom, and I was like, I want to do this, I want to do that. So I ended up throwing a quote unquote anniversary party, right, to celebrate the business. Okay. Well, I didn't know that the business was, but that the anniversary party was going to become a yearly event.
Oh my gosh. Ryan, people on here saying yes.
They ready for the Starlight Ball. So I will tell y'all this. I'm not certain if the Starlight Ball 2025 is happening.
Yeah.
But I can definitely say Starlight Ball 2026 is for sure. If I do not do it this year, it will be done next year. My goal was to do it every other year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's so funny how life comes into play and so many things happen and you get so busy, big booked and
Yeah.
busy. I realized,
Yeah.
like, oh gosh, it's that year now that I said I was going to do the
Yeah.
ball again. The last time I did it
Right.
was November 2023.
I'm
So I
telling
know
you,
everyone is looking for it this year, 2020.
Ryan, every darn year. I see
That's
that
the
data.
goal. The goal is to do it every year.
Right. But every time I'm out of town and my niece, she comes back. Oh, Ryan, me and Tyra went to the ball. I was like, the music, and I said, you know what? Don't talk about it no
And
more.
I
I'm
try to
on.
get very creative. Last year we had a violinist who welcomed the
Oh
guests
wow.
in. I shout out to my favorite DJ in the entire world, DJ King Tut. I use Steven Tut
Yeah.
for every
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
event
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have, every event. But
That's what's
I
up.
can't make no promises, y'all. I can't make no promises. That it's happening. But one thing I can promise, it will be back.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Starlight will
Listen,
be back.
this has been really, really awesome. But you, Ryan, we backstage. Both of us talking about we all nervous and everything. And I told Ryan, I say, listen, once we get to talking, because me and Ryan, we family, okay.
Yep,
But I said once we get to talking, I said that's it, because it just kind of turns into a conversation, an
it does.
authentic conversation, right?
It does.
And so I am so happy, so happy for you and your business, and God has greater for you.
Yes.
And I know you getting some bookings, but more is coming. So
I appreciate
listen,
that so much.
you don't have to get ready. You're gonna be ready. You already ready. And so
Manifestation is real. I manifest all these
yeah,
beautiful things.
absolutely, absolutely. Listen, guys, if you want to get in contact with Ryan, here's the email again. Send him an email if you have an event coming up. Maybe it might this year, next year, the next 2 years, whatever it may be. Reach out to him if you have any questions. Also to Ryan, we're about to end tonight. Again, I thank you so much. Um, I want you to, those that are starting a business, right? I've had my business for a long time. You have, we have entrepreneurs on here. We have a lot of people here that own a business already, but
Yeah.
what about that person that's just starting, that has that vision, just kind of like, oh, I don't know. What type of encouragement, and we're going to end it tonight, what type of encouragement can you give someone?
The encouragement that I would give of someone who is trying to start a business, I started my business very, very young.
Hmm.
So I will always say this: take your time.
Okay.
Take your time. Don't try to do everything at one time. Pace yourself.
Hmm.
And I will tell you this: use those no's as your stepping stones. I have been told no a lot of times, and I just
Yeah,
use them to build, 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 build to get to
yeah,
where I am. And I'm still growing. God is still working on me every single day,
yeah, yeah,
personally
yeah,
and professionally.
yeah,
But take your time and
yeah,
don't take no for an answer. And keep reminding yourself why you're doing this. Why are you doing what
yeah,
you love? I
yeah.
always tell myself, like I just said, I always tell myself, this ain't a job. I love what I do. When you
Mm-hmm.
love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Even if your feet may still hurt at the end of the day. But just take your time and remember why you're doing it. And
Yeah.
allow those no's to be your stepping stones.
Wow, wow.
Giving up is not an option.
Yes, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Listen, this was a listen. I know I'm gonna get some text tonight. And so this has been really, really awesome. I sent you a message like, Ryan, can you come on talk? He was like, absolutely. What date?
Absolutely. And I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this platform.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
to the new and old clients, I say I love y'all. Come
yeah.
holler at me, email me, text me, Instagram, Facebook, Fly Guy Exclusive Events. Y'all know the page.
Yes.
It has been a pleasure. I really, really appreciate you again. Thank
Um,
you so much.
Thank
Thank
you so much. Love you, fam. Please stay
you. I
on
love
for
you
me,
too.
okay?
Absolutely.
All right, stay on. Oh wow, man, what a delight to have Ryan on tonight. I'm telling you, from the time he was in his mama belly to, just growing up and watching him grow up and develop, and to have a business, Fly Guy exclusive events. Again, I just sent him a message, hey, come on, talk Tuesday, talk about your business. And so I thank everybody for coming on tonight, Ryan's friends and his family. Thank you again, YouTube. Everybody that's on YouTube as well. We'll be also being connected to Instagram too. I think that's next month. So we'll be on 3 platforms. And so again, I thank God for giving me the vision of Talk Tuesday. Listen, if you want to be a guest on Talk Tuesday, listen, all are welcome. Again, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an author, if you want to share your journey, we have a lot of people that come on Talk Tuesday, they share their testimony, right? And so you're all are welcome. Send me a DM. I'll be so glad to have you. Again, I'm just still smiling from Ryan because it was just a joy to talk to him tonight. And yeah, again, we're like family, and I'm just so glad that he's blossoming and God is going to open more doors for him. And yeah, so I'm excited. Again, thank you so much for joining Talk Tuesday. Listen, next week, just really briefly, give me 2 minutes. Briefly next week, Talk Tuesday, I'm gonna rebroadcast. It is Autism Awareness Month, right? And last year I interviewed Nija Simpson. She has a daughter with autism, and I had interviewed her. And so I thought it would be fitting to rebroadcast her interview. So come back next week on Talk Tuesday at 7:30. Again, it's a rebroadcast interview. Yeah, come on and listen to her story and her courage, and her daughter talk about her story. And so next week, again, it's going to be a rebroadcast of Talk Tuesday. Nigel Simpson, who has a daughter with autism. It is Autism Awareness Month, okay? So we won't be back until May. Now in May, we're going to have a guest. Her name is Dr. Renata Gilliard. She is a doctor. Listen, y'all, a doctor of nursing practice. And so she's coming on May. Listen, because we got to talk about y'all health. Okay. Okay. That's a big, big topic. And she actually a good friend. We go to church together. Again, she is a doctor, okay, of nursing. And so we're going to talk about some health issues on next month. You'll see the flyer. And then Talk Tuesday will be it'll be a few weeks before we come back because your girl going on vacation. Okay. Me and Ryan just talked about that. Taking care of yourself. So I'll be going on vacation, then come back in May, and we'll have Dr. Renata Gilliard on. And so, yeah, I'm so excited about that. We got to talk about this health thing, y'all. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Again, I thank God for giving me the vision of Talk Tuesday. It has been a blessing. We're in I thought it was our 6th year, but it's our 5th year of Talk Tuesday. All right, what a blessing. And so that's it tonight. Again, if you want to get in contact with Ryan, if you want to watch this again, I don't delete my lives. You can go back and watch it again, or you can just go on YouTube. It's on YouTube. If you want to send it to someone, please share. I don't mind at all. Again, if you want to come on Talk Tuesday, send me a DM, and we'll work out the schedule and bring you on Talk Tuesday. All right, that's it, guys. Please have a good evening, a good afternoon, a good morning, wherever you may be in this world. So again, thank you. I appreciate your support. Peace.